Good morning, good evening or good afternoon. My name's Rhiannon and welcome to my channel. Today we're going to be doing 1920s hair and makeup. We're starting off with some very cold wet hair because I forgot to put the hot water on earlier. Let's just unleash that. There you go. So the first thing I'm going to do is just split it down the middle and brush it so it's fairly straight and get any tangles out. I know you're not supposed to brush wet hair, but here we are. Which I think you are supposed to brush wet hair if you've got curly or wavy hair. My hair is wavy, but I've got no idea what to do with it, so I just don't. So that's all us brushed out, looking a bit like The Grudge. So next, I'm going to take the back and put it in a hairband to keep it out of the way. If you have short hair, you don't need to do this. You can curl all the way around, but there's no way that all of this is getting into a bob without hiding it in the back in a bun, but I'll talk about that later. So I'm just going to split from just behind the ears, like we do with all of our historical hairstyles. And just stick that all in a scrunchie. So you can do finger waves with a central parting, but most commonly it was slightly off to one side, and that is where my hair seems to want to go today. So we'll just split that about there. And this side I'm just going to temporarily clip out of the way with my thing that I don't have. Back in a second. So I've got a whole box of these little duckbill clips. So just take the hair that you're currently not using and stick that out the way. So we have a comb. Quickly comb through that just to check there's no tangles. And then we're going to use a hair gel or pomade. The one I've got is this Sheer Moisture Coconut and Hibiscus gel. I use this most of the time when I want to actually define my waves, but I don't like the feeling of having stuff in my hair, so I very rarely do. So just take some and glob it on, mostly at the top. Don't worry too much about the ends, because at least in my case they're not going to be there. And just comb that through. How to ruin all your combs 101. Yuck. Right. So now we have one slimy, weird bit of hair. We're just going to, this is the basic finger wave technique, is first you brush it all forward. Hold that in place and then angle that back so that it forms a little wave, and then quickly pin that down in place. So here the best thing to do is to pin just behind where your comb's been. So then you just have that again, and once more comb it forwards towards the face while it sticks to your face in a very unpleasant manner. Forward. Clamp. And back. And the rest I'm temporarily just going to put back into the hairband, or just frankly at this point shove it over my shoulder. So there you go. You may find that you want to take things out and rearrange them slightly, but that I'm fairly happy with. Now for the other side. Right, so that's the start of our set. You might also notice that my ear is sticking out. When it dries, I should be able to cover that back over, but the ear's generally speaking covered in the 20s. So you could carry on if you've got longer hair, or sorry, shorter hair than me, but longer hair than this, you can carry on down to about bob length. But if you've got to shoulder length and your hair is a little bit too long for 20s stuff, so I'm just going to take my remaining hair that hasn't been clipped, and you can do one of two things. I'm going to just do a basic little bun at the back of the head. I've also seen people use a length of scarf and roll up the ends and then tie it as a little headband, which is very, very attractive, but I've tried that before and it's never worked, so I didn't really want to try it on camera. And I'm going to secure that with a hairpin. There you go, so you can either use a hairdryer to speed up the dyeing process, but actually I'm going to wash all this gunk off my hands and then we're going to do some 20s makeup. So I'm freshly degunked and now it's time to do some 20s makeup. So we're going to start off with just a basic cream. People would have had replenishing creams and correction creams and all sorts of other things. They are basically just a moisturiser for your face. So I get quite dry skin, so I'm just going to slather this on. Right, so foundations at the time were in cake or powder form, so I've just got a basic tinted face powder here, and it would be applied either with a powder puff or a cheap and increasingly popular solution was little disposable cotton pads. So the cream on my face will help this stick as a powder foundation. Don't worry if you have any stray powder bits, we will be taking that off later on. I remember growing up, my nana had this wonderful big powder puff, like about the size of a small dinner plate, with this dirty, great, full powder puff face inside, and I don't know, I just remember being fascinated by that as a child, and evidently as a 30-year-old as well. See, I mentioned I had very dry skin. This is already not great for me. I'm going to focus a little bit more just under the eyes and around the eyes because I'm prone to dark circles. Right, then you take a basic brush and just brush off the excess. Preferably without getting a load of dust into your wet setting hair. Great. I'm such a professional. Such a professional. And it's all over my dress as well. Wonderful. So, this is our foundation. So these sorts of things had been used in the Edwardian period, and a lot of makeup products actually predate that as well. But the 1920s is really a time where visible makeup is just more socially acceptable. It did exist before if you were an actress or a lady of negotiable affection or something along those lines. Also, people were using makeup before that, just a little bit of tint on the lip or the lashes or the brows, just to, you know, make everything pop a little bit. That's been in use for hundreds of bloody years. But this is when we get into visible makeup, which makes it a lot more fun in my opinion. So, eyeshadows. People had eyeshadows, believe it or not. So I'm going to take, this is going to be a day look, not an evening look. So I'm taking this shade of this Charlotte Tilbury palette and just brushing it all over the lid and then up towards the brow bone. And take a tiny bit more and just do a little bit just under the outer corner. Okay, can you see that? Same on the other side. So now we have our nice dark eyeshadow. This might be a little bit of a trust the process moment and not just look like I've been decked. So, next is a basic kohl soft eye pencil, and you're going to do just the entire outer ring of the eyes. People also did little cat eyes and sometimes extended the centre as well. I'm not going to do that because I think it suits me better, but there was still quite a lot of variety in the makeup people choose to wear during the 1920s. It's still all about suiting your face and making you, your natural beautiful self, look better. Or even better, I should say. I'm sure you're all very beautiful over there in internet world. So I'm just lining all the way along the waterline, right into the corner. And on the bottom, just doing the same, although probably a little bit lighter in my case. So I am going to extend ever so slightly out, and also slightly just to the, ooh, or just do that, that's great. Oh well, we're going to blend it in a minute anyway. So, now we're at this stage, I literally just take my finger and gently rubber it along to smudge it out a little bit. And I think it looks sort of dark and mysterious and hopefully appealing. And that has also sorted out my mishap with the eyeliner. So same on the other side, or as close to the same as I can possibly manage. Blendy, blendy, blendy. Haha, blend. Not just rub your eyes until it looks nice. There you go, that's our eyeliner done. So I'm trying not to get... My temptation is to go towards the camera, even though I know that's going to make it blurry, you'll not be able to see me. Right. So, during the 1920s, mascara came in a little cake form, which you'd wet and you'd apply with a little separate applicator spoolie thing. I don't have any cake mascara, and I was saving making my own ash-based mascara for a different video, so we'll do that then. But this is just a normal... I'm not going to curl my eyelashes or anything, but people did. Eyelash curlers had already been invented, so I'm just going to very gently do my lashes. I'm doing the bottom ones as well and hopefully not stabbing myself in the eye. Too much, get off. Again. And again. There's a lot of and again when it comes to eyes, isn't there? Well, I suppose if you've got two of them. If you don't, I guess it makes life, well, doing your makeup a lot quicker anyway. Okay. So, oh, I've forgotten my eyebrow pencil. I shall be right back. I'm back with my eyebrow pencil. So eyebrows at the time, I have too many of them, or too many of them, too much of them. So the aim was to have a very high and soft arch, and also to bring the outer corner down quite a lot to really frame the eyes. So I'm going to do the best I can with the eyebrows I've got. I have got an eyebrow video planned for the future, but you'll have to wait on that one. So just trying to elongate that outer edge and also to soften the curve because I'm quite angular in the eyebrow department. Like that. There you go. Some not quite 20s eyebrows. Right, blush. Now, blush was the thing. It was the shit to be using. There's a lot of pictures of women using it to kind of shape, though most commonly it was just put on the apple of the cheek to go for a youthful, glowy appearance. So first we have to find the apples of our cheeks, and then just dab on. Most blushes at the time were either powder or more popular was cream blushes. I don't have a cream blush, but lipstick is in all pretty much the same thing, so that's what I'm doing. And then we just blend in. If you do think your blush is too strong, don't worry about it. It's the 20s, it's not. Here are some pictures of blush. Yours isn't too much, trust me. So now we have all that done. It's looking fairly 20s already. It's time for the lips. Now you want to really emphasise the Cupid's bow, and I don't fill in the entirety of my top lip, but I do emphasise the roundness of my bottom lip, but I don't go all the way to the outer edges like I normally do with my later styles of lipstick. So I'm just going to take this lip liner and trace a basic shape. Like that. You might notice that my lipstick is never the same on both sides. It's because my lips aren't, and I see no point in fighting nature. So the lipsticks at the time people tended to favour were on the red side, but they also tended to be slightly more orangey than what became popular later on. So I don't have an orange based red lipstick because they make me look quite sick. So I'm going to use this pink brandy again, which actually on camera does look quite orange, but it's a sort of slightly orangey peachy colour. Just grab a tissue and blot off the excess. And there we have our 20s makeup. If you want to carry on setting it throughout the day or want to know what things to bring with you, I'd recommend bringing your lipstick, your powder, and probably your eyeliner with you. But as you can see, there's not many products. I mean, I will hold them all up, all the products that I have used in this. It's just this. You could fit that into a clutch. Perfect. Which is good because clutches were also popular during the 1920s. So I'm going to... That's not quite dry, so I'm going to take a hairdryer to this and update you on my finished look in a second. Did hairdryers make anyone else's eyes water? This was a mistake. So, my hair isn't quite dry, but I think it's dry enough that it will hold. So we're just going to take out these grips. And there we are. I hope you can see that all right. I know that the reflection's a bit of a pain. But yes, I'm also going to slightly dab out those ridges. You will, if you use these duck-billed clips, you will get ridges. You can get, I will insert the name here of the kind of clips that I mean, but they do actually deliberately form the ridges, and they're also very commonly used during the 20s and later on as well. So this is the finished look. I can sort of hide the ear like that. So you can just sort of tweak and pin and make sure it's sitting exactly as you want to, but I'm pretty happy with that. However, during the drying process I did have this escaped bit of hair, so I'm going to show you what you can do with that. You take a dab more gel and wind that up on your finger. Stick it to your face. You can do that with any little sort of extraneous bits you have. Which is not only period accurate, I think it's also pretty cute, although that one's not working. You can just get tucked back in with the rest. So, I hope you've enjoyed this, and join me in the future where I make a 20s dress, and check out my other video where I made some 20s underwear. Bye! My name's Rhiannon, and today I'm going to show you how I get a text in the middle of me recording.